Okay.
If I see another one of those signs throughout the hallway, I'm work all.
Okay, so let's go over last night's review. So this review, guys, was supposed to help you study. So first of all, what's the number one rule of earth science?
Read all
the words. So up here, I have a good reminder, which kind of goes along with reading all the words. It says, when given a diagram with mathematical data, solve everything you can first, then look at the questions. Break a long question apart, look at each fact separately. If there are two-part answers, break them into sections of information, eliminate obvious, and look for the correct answer. Well, just a good thought. All right, so when making an observation, you need to use your 5 senses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Okay. When you are classifying objects, by the way, this wasn't on there, but you need to know this. What does it mean to classify them? Not to observe them.
So put them in their place.
Put them in a place, to group them, to organize them. So you need to use observations to organize them. Like I could classify you guys by wearing sweatshirts and wearing t-shirts. So yeah, I know, that's why we're reviewing it. We're reviewing it quickly. A prediction is just an inference, which is a guess about the future. A measurement, so using an instrument to measure, that's still an observation. So when you, instead of saying, wow, that's a big rock, now you can use a scale to say, wow, that's a 10-pound rock. Something like that. Still an observation, not an inference. It's not a guess. So then we had to classify each of these. So a person observes sediment consisting of clay, sand, and pebbles. That's an observation. The material was transported and deposited by an agent of erosion. That's a guess. So that's an inference. Then when you put the whole thing together, a person observes sediments consisting of sand, clay, sand, and pebbles, and said that the material was transported by an agent of erosion. The whole sentence together, you can see how they use an observation to make a guess. It's still an inference though. Cyclic, which means happens in a cycle. Because it's cyclic, they're predictable. Non-cyclic, because they don't happen in a cycle, makes them unpredictable. So did you already look at these answers? Are moon phases cyclic or non-cyclic? Cyclic. So since they're cyclic, they are predictable. How about ocean tide? Cyclic and predictable.
Non-cyclic.
Yeah, meteors are non-cyclic, unpredictable.
Cyclic.
Sunrise is cyclic and predictable. Earthquakes,
Non-cyclic.
non-cyclic and unpredictable. How about at what temperature is the density of the water the greatest? It does say at what temperature. Oh, okay, so that's a perfect example of what not to do on the test. So thank you, Felicia. You are correct. So guys, that's a perfect example though. You have to read what the question asks and answer that question, not the question you think they're asking. Felicia's 100% correct. Water is most dense as a liquid, but the question says what temperature. So even though Felicia knows extra, it doesn't count. Yep, it is on the front page of your reference table. It's 3.98 degrees Celsius. It's right on the reference table, not something you have to memorize, but be careful to answer the question they ask. That's why people don't get 100. It's not because they don't know the earth science. It's because the Regents messes with your head. That is exactly why hundreds aren't just handed out. I hate that. I think it's stupid if you ask me. I want you just to be tested on your earth science, not how well you or how bad you are at getting tricked.
Right.
I just want you to be great on the earth science. So nobody but you guys care about my opinion.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
I care about.
But maybe the next president of Pioneer Student Council can change some things. Maybe.
Well, maybe change the reason. First I do your get all you got the first science readings for dinner.
We're definitely you and a friend and me. Let's not make it weird. Same substance. So how can you tell if two substances are made of the same material? It's because they'll have the same density.
What if I don't have?
If you don't have what? Then I guess we go by ourselves.
This is
Formula for density is D equals M over V. Please don't memorize it. Well, I mean, you can memorize it, but check your reference table. Density, when you heat something up, the density goes down. Think hot air balloon. Why does a hot air balloon rise? Because it's less dense. And then if a rock floats, it must be less dense than the water. On the back, is this the class we went over the magic triangle with?
Yes,
No.
I mean, like yesterday?
yes, like, yes,
Mr. D, do you remember?
we did.
We did. Awesome. Okay. My other classes did not remember the magic triangle. So the M goes on top, the D and the V go on the bottom. Now, one thing I want to point out is this magic triangle is a way to avoid doing algebra. You guys in this past year have probably gotten better at doing algebra. By that, I mean rearranging a math equation. So some of you might be able, if given, you might be able to find the density, find the volume if you know D equals M over V. You might be able to rearrange this equation on your own without using the magic triangle. I'm not explaining it, not my department, but do you have to use the magic triangle? No, you just have to either be able to do algebra, and if you can't, then you do the magic triangle. Volume equals mass over density. Let me remind you how to use the magic triangle. M goes on top. You cover up the one you're looking for. That means it's V equals M over D, which you guys should know means divide. If you cover up the M, you're left with D next to V. That's multiply. They want to know which one is less dense. It's B because B is like floating on top of A. Anytime something floats, it's less dense.
Okay, by water.
No, because that didn't answer the question.
You got any more guys?
So it says the container below has two different liquids in it, A and B. It's what it says. No, you didn't read. If you thought anything else, it's because you didn't read.
Not wrong, yeah.
Don't think, read.
Oh.
Okay? Nobody asked you to think on this. They just asked you to read.
Sorry.
Not
Okay.
think about the question that way. I want you obviously to think about the earth science, but don't, if the question says the container below has two different liquids, you should not be thinking it has air and water. Have you ever seen salad dressing that separates into like a clear layer and like a yellow layer? Yep, Italian dressing will do that, Greek dressing at a restaurant. If you spill oil into a puddle, you know how the oil kind of sits on top in the rainbow?
Perfectly like
It's perfectly like,
that much.
yes, like that much. Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah,
like you won't see vivid.
no, just perfect, because this is less dense and more dense.
And done.
Well, what about moving on?
No,
And C.
no. All right, we got mass divided by volume, 4 grams per centimeter.
Well,
Cut it in half, we get 12 grams for the mass, 3 centimeters cubed for the volume. Then when you do 12 divided by 3, you get 4 again. Remember, what happens to density when you cut an object up? Stays the same. Point proven here. This one was causing people issues because this is another time they give you more information than you actually need. So in the end, we just need to do mass over volume, mass of the liquid. So they told you the empty container weighed 145. The full container weighed 195. So how much did the liquid weigh? That's 195 minus 145 gives you 50. They only used 50 milliliters of water. What was this 100 for?
Trick you into making us think you have the extra information.
It was. So don't use it. So we get 50 divided by 50. That gives us 1 gram per milliliter. And you should know that water has a density of 1. To do this last one, you still just needed a mass, which is on the y-axis, a volume, which is on the x-axis. So mass divided by volume. So for each one of them I just picked a spot that looked like easy math. So for X, I did 20 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 gave me 10. For Y, I did 30 divided by 6. That gave me 5. And for Z, I did 10 divided by 10 gave me 1. So you still just do mass over volume.
If I didn't put like the label.
Actually, it's 60/40, no
Um,
problem.
On the line.
So,
This one technically no, because it did not say include the labels. But guys, be careful about that. Like right here, it said, don't forget the units.
section
They
30,
won't-
no.
What? What don't line up?
I didn't know where to stop at.
What do you mean stop at?
Right when you intersect it.
Yeah, so you just go and hit the line. Is that what you mean? So you could have picked any of these numbers. Like I could have done 40. 40 divide, well, I guess 40 divided by 3 does not give me 10. So, okay, so the question wasn't perfect, but,
Really question.
well, it probably isn't quite at 40. It's probably up a little bit. All right. Anybody have any other questions besides that last one?
35 and 7.
All right, how about the chapter 2 then? So chapter 2, latitude, longitude, connect the dots for slightly older kids. And I think what we're gonna do, so we only have 15 minutes. I'm gonna say this is homework, but I'm giving you 15 minutes right now to work together to do it. Okay? First, so let me give it, you didn't pick it up, 'cause I didn't tell you to, right?
Right.
Cause I can't get my act together today. Whole packet? We're gonna actually rip off a page of it, because I realized when I went to make my answer key, the two pages were the same. So turn to page 5,
How did I get making you get up?
cause I thought you were extra special.
Oh.
So turn to page 5
Oh.
and gently rip page 5 out. Cause there's whole questions on one page, so.
Any challenge?
Gently rip out page 5/6. We're gonna recycle these because these are the exact same questions on a different page.
I didn't. Okay.
Yay.
That's because you couldn't read them.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys work together if you want on this.
Zach, bring that back here, please. Let's. Oh, you stole my.
I am. All right, guys, go ahead and get started on this. Ask questions. Ask questions as needed.
You're not getting it.
So again, your homework is to do pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. But you have 15 minutes right now to get started.